Hello, my friends. We're having an interesting evening. We are going to be talking all about sex, and we're going to talk about it's going to get kind of detailed. So I'm giving you the heads up right now. If you are in a room with lots of people and you don't want to hear me talking sex, then you need to put your headphones in right now. Turn the volume down if you happen to be at work. Turn it down because we're going to be talking about some stuff we don't usually talk about, but we're going to get it done. Brian said I'm doing the Lord's work. And I'm excited about today's class because I'm just saying I think that we don't talk about sex enough, and I think that there's lots of myth and lots of confusion and lots of what's right, what's not right, all these things. And I have been married for a really long time. I got married at 18 and I'm almost 60. So I've been married for a long time. Same guy, same thing, and he's still my bestie, and we still like to have sex. And I'm just saying it can be a wonderful addition to your life. And if it isn't clicking the way you want it to, I want to talk about some of that and help you be able to figure out ways to make that spark and fly, and just some little bits that may help you. And this is assuming that you are in a safe relationship. This isn't for somebody that is going through that emotional trauma, and maybe you're in a relationship that maybe you should not be in anyways. That's a whole nother class. This is not big time on the emotional side. This is more on the actual physical and how you prep, like what you do to get that back, and the reasons why we need to. Guys, I am here to tell you again, I hope you have your volume down because we're going to talk, because I am here to tell you that women, you should want to have sex. It should be a desire that you have. If you don't, there's some switches that we need to flip, because you should enjoy the process and you should want to. An orgasm should be a goal. If you have not had an orgasm yet, girl, we are going to talk tonight and maybe figure out how to get you there. Maybe not together, but so that you can figure out how to get yourself there and with your significant other, because it's so important physiologically. Like your body, good things happen. And men, you should be capable of. It is crazy to me that now our men in their 30s, their testosterone levels and their ability to get and hold an erection, it's happening in their 30s that it's starting to be, that's decreasing. And honestly, it used to be in your 70s. So we are like 40 years off. So I really want to talk about the how and the why and all the things. And I don't know that I'll be able to make eye contact with some of you afterwards, but you are going to leave with a knowledge and an ability to be able to maybe change some things for you. So I have a whole bunch of notes right here that I am contemplating sharing. Let me know if you guys would like my notes on these different classes. They're really haphazard. They're just notes for me, so it's not like super organized or amazing outline, but maybe it would give you the tools you need to turn around and teach the classes. Maybe not this class, but if you would teach other classes, and if you want the notes, let me know, because it helps me to know how I can help you to be able to I don't know, better serve everybody else, because the messages have to get out there. And I'm going to ask you to do this. I need you to hit the share button. I need you to hit the share button now before we go really deep and you decide that I'm a little bit too deep and you don't want people to hear that. Mainly because maybe you don't need it. Maybe you don't, maybe you got an amazing sex life. Maybe you orgasm daily. I don't know you. But there's so many people out there that sex is taboo. Even when I shared that we were going to do this class, I had some people message me and tell me it was inappropriate. Like, as a Christian woman, how could you be talking about that? Because God gave us sex. Like, he put us in the garden. He said, go procreate. And he made it good. He made it an amazing thing. He gave us all these different neurotransmitters so that we would want to do that again. That's what neurotransmitters do. That's what dopamine does. That's what kicks out when we have intercourse. That means Father God knew what he was doing. He knew we were supposed to have it. So sex isn't dirty. Sex isn't something to be embarrassed about. I mean, between a man and a woman, between two people that are adults, what you do in your home, that's totally on you. And we are not here to judge. We are not here. I'm just saying, God gave the ability. He put all the parts in the right spot and all the parts fit together like they're supposed to. And when they're used appropriately, it's good. It's a great thing. So I'm going to look at my notes notes so I don't miss anything because I knew I was going to jump around. So let's start with this. There are some things that are roadblocks to being able to have that amazing, that orgasm, male and female, to be able to get to that point. There's some roadblocks. So in the group, we've got a 21-day hormone reset going on right now, and I'm going to give a plug for it. I've been doing it every single week because I think the information is crazy. Who is already in the hormone group and you have learned more about hormones in the 7 days that we've been going than you ever thought you could? We spent 4 days alone just on the adrenals. You guys, I think this information is so needed. So anyways, if you're in the group and you've learned something, say I've learned. If you're not in the group and you want to get in the group, I put the link in the description so that you can just click on the link, because I forget to come back in and add you. So click on the link, request to be added. We'll get you thrown in there. It doesn't matter whose team you're on. This is for team human being. That's who's allowed in the group. So anyways, because some of those roadblocks, we're really talking about deep in that class, so I can't get into it here. But low estrogen and low testosterone, that automatically is going to give you a low libido. So you just don't care if you have sex. It's not that you're anti-sex. You just don't really care anymore because those numbers are lower. So we want to make sure that we work on that. We'll talk about that. And think perimenopause when that kicks in. And think it's called andropause for our men, because you guys go through the same thing. You just think that you don't. High cortisol. So that adrenaline that we've been talking about, the adrenals for 4 days, that's going to put your sex life in the dumpster, because when cortisol is high and we're stressed out and we're worried, your body is like, I don't want to have sex. I want to get away from the bear. Because that's what your brain is thinking when we're overstressed and we have all this stuff going on. So I need to get you to a safe place so you don't know that there's a bear around the corner, so you don't think there's a bear around the corner, so you can get to a point where you are able to enjoy sex and that you want it and it feels good. Because get this, when you have orgasms, it lowers cortisol as well. So when you, even if you have intercourse, we're going to talk about what makes it good and what doesn't. But when you have intercourse, even when you don't get to that orgasm spot, it lowers cortisol for us. Ladies, it just helps us calm down. It's one of the things that I joke about with Brian when I am like totally stressed out and I'm like, we need to have sex because I need you to turn the button off. I need you to turn this off just for a few minutes, because it gets me to a safe place where then I can take that deep breath and I can relax and I can stop worrying about the world and how I'm going to fix the whole thing, because we get in our own head. So it lowers intercourse on its own, physical touch, hugging, holding hands, all those things. We talked about that in the class, how they lower cortisol, they modulate the numbers, because when we feel safe, our body starts to change the hormone cascade that's going out. So who in here, you need that cortisol to go down? It just needs to mute just for a minute, even if it's just for 5 to 7 minutes. We need that. Gut issues. Gut issues can cause a hormone disruption. We're going into that more this week and how that works, because it lowers your neurotransmitters. Your neurotransmitters are your things like adrenaline. They are the things like oh my goodness, they are the things like dopamine, they are the things like oxytocin. So if your gut is not functioning properly, your body can't make those neurotransmitters, because like almost all the serotonin in your body is made in your gut. Almost all of it, it's like 80 some odd % is made in your gut. So if that's where your place is and you're like, girl, I don't poop. I poop like once a week. Well, who's going to want to go have sex when you're wanting to poop and you haven't pooped for 5 days? You don't feel good. You don't feel sexy. But also, the neurotransmitters aren't there. So in that group on the hormones, we did maybe a month ago a whole thing on detox and how we get that gut back into balance. So maybe you need to go in there and check that first before you start the hormones. I'm just saying, it's all in there. Emotional trauma, again, that numbness, that disconnection. I will say, ladies, one of the best oils when that emotional trauma has happened, sexual abuse. Maybe it was even something that happened, 10, 15 years ago, or when you were a kid and you've been married and you still have this stuff, but there's a wall. Sarah, the essential oil Sarah, is priceless for you. And it can be one of those you just open up, you put over your heart, you breathe it in, and use it regularly. It's essential oils have to be used over and over and over and over and over and over and over. and over and over. I mean, like, let's get this. If you have a headache and you take Excedrin or Tylenol or something for it, what do you have to do 4 to 6 hours later? If you're sick, you still have to take it again. And we get that, but for some reason with oils, we rub it on the one time, we're like, oh, I feel so good. And then you have that feeling 15 minutes later, and you're like, oh, I don't know if it worked. Put it on again, put it on again, put it in again. How many times? I don't know. 1,000. I don't know, because each circumstance is going to be different and how many other oils you're using. But Sarah, it is beautiful for that. The feelings get beautiful for that. We're not going deep into that today. We're doing other sides of the emotion. So oils that are really good for her when it comes to getting that spark, getting you in the mood, and getting you where they have desire. I'm going to tell you right now, jasmine. If you do not own jasmine, I need you to go to your cart while we're talking right now. Go in your phone and throw jasmine in your loyalty rewards. Jasmine is such a beautiful oil for making you feel beautiful. So this isn't even just sex. This is just feeling beautiful in your own skin. It changes the molecules inside you, and you'll find your shoulders go back. You'll be like, my boobs look great today. My butt is on fire. That is jasmine. That is the power of jasmine. And when you start that feeling good, your body starts changing those neurotransmitters. It's working with your progesterone. It's working with your estrogen. I am telling you, jasmine. Men, if you want your lady to be interested in you, you need to be diffusing that jasmine. You need to have a little spray bottle, put that on the pillow, have it around the room, do all the things. Jasmine, ladies, you deserve it. Rose is another one that's really great about that. You can put that on the top of your head. But if you're picking between rose and jasmine, it is jasmine, hands down, every time. Libido, confidence, emotional openness, like some of those traumas that we talked about. Jasmine, she's your girl. Sensations. It's another one that we don't talk about very much, but it's an oil that we have that Gary put together for all those sensations that we want to have. We actually have it in a massage oil that you can use as a lubricant. So you can use that in the bedroom beforehand. You can use it the days leading up to it. You can put it on like perfume. It's amazing because it just kind of flips that switch. Who already uses jasmine or sensation and that beautiful sensation that you have so that you're feeling beautiful and glorious? So important. Ylang ylang. Ylang ylang is male and female. Ylang ylang is a balancing the male and female side. That is this one that brings us in the same spot. So like maybe she's not in the mood, but he's in the mood, and it brings us back where we're in a balance. So this is a good one. Again, you can use it in your diffuser. You can put it on topically. You can put it over your heart. Right? You just put it all over in there. It's a great one for that. That is male and female because it's bringing that balance in. And you'll find in any of the blends that Gary made for us for sexual anything, for that beauty thing, joy, ylang ylang, it's in there because it's so balancing. Joy's another good one that you can use for it. Oils for him. And I actually shared probably maybe a month and a half ago on my personal page, you can find a graphic and it says oils for him. Yes, the spray for the guys. And you can go in there and get that whole thing. But the oils in there is Idaho blue spruce. It is goldenrod, it is cypress, frankincense, peppermint. All of these are ones that work with, okay, so how do I say it? Because I want to make sure we can keep this up and not say anything non-compliant. It's the same kind of oils that are in our supplement prostate health. So it's amazing. Make a little spray bottle out of it, put it in a carrier, and then spray that on topically over the testicles, over the actual shaft, on the rod. And it can be used, so you know, it can actually be used and then have intercourse. So they're perfectly safe to go vaginally as well. So that, you know, if you're in the middle of the moment and you're applying that oil or helping him apply that oil, and things move on, it's perfectly fine for that. But it's also a set of oils that, guys, you should use every single morning. Like, personally, so you know, Brian's gonna kick my butt, but next to his bed, he has those oils, and he layers them on every single morning. Over the testicles, over the shaft, and you know, Gary used to joke goldenrod for a goldenrod, but it just, so that we remember this is just something that's amazing. It's a great spot to apply them for our guys because it helps with that little zoom zoom that we're supposed to have going on. So great oils for our men. And like I said, it's perfectly fine. There's no reason why you wouldn't be able to just even put those in a lube and be able to use those in the moment, I'm just saying, make sure you're using something like V6 as your base. Just because we need that little bit of lubrication, especially ladies, if you are going through perimenopause and menopause, I guarantee your vaginal, you're very dry. It can get not only just super dry, but it can get the tissue inside the vagina can get really thin, and it can hurt to have intercourse. So some of the stuff that we're sharing right now is going to help so that it doesn't hurt, because it should not be painful to have sex. If it's painful, then that's where we got to do some different things. And some of these different lubes, these different things are going to help so that it's comfortable. But what I want to do is turn your system back on so that your body is creating its own lube again. And all these are just extra for a little blood flow, a little zoom, a little heat up going on down there. Other oils that are great for our men, and the ones that I feel should be used regularly. So Brian also does Shutron all the time. One of my sweet, amazing diamonds, Stacey Cambrell, she has shared her story with Shutron and how it changes how she feels about him and intercourse. So for her, the Shutron on him changes it for her. So I just think that's a really beautiful thing to share, that it's a team thing. It's getting us both in that place. And Shutron is one of those oils that just, when you smell it on your man, there's just a manliness that comes from that. So guys, I'm just saying, get that Shutron, use it up. Goldenrod, cypress, Idaho blue spruce, we mentioned those. Then supplements that help. So these are all supplements that are male and female, so it's not one or the other. But PD8020, y'all, in the class that we're doing in there, we have talked about PD8020 a lot. It is PD stands for pregnenolone. It is 80% pregnenolone, and the D stands for DHEA. And those are two hormones that decline as we're aging. So it's normal that they're going to go lower as you age. And so our men taking one in the morning and one in the evening, phenomenal for them. Women, we're supposed to have testosterone and DHEA, which are precursors. Pregnenolone is the master steroid hormone. So it turns into whatever your body happens to need, whether it is estrogen or testosterone or estrogen or DHEA. It's the mother hormone. So it's going to turn itself into what your body is needing at the moment. I love that Young Living doesn't have end product hormones. We have precursors, so your body can do what it needs. So this is 80% pregnenolone, 20% DHEA. Women, you're probably only going to need this 2 or 3 times a week. This is something that we don't need a ton of, or you might start getting a beard, which, you can shave the beard if that's what it takes to get, your zoom going back on. So PD8020, that is one, male or female. We just need different amounts of them. And who is already taking PD8020? What has been your experience? Have you added it since we talked about it in the men's class 2 weeks ago? So if you need to know more about the men, you can listen to the replay that was all about the Shutron Swagger and testosterone tips and all the things. So I'm just saying it's there. And then we've got our Cortistop. Now our Cortistop is the one that we have been talking about for your beautiful, lovely, healthy adrenals. Cortistop is the one that helps to just have your body use the cortisol it has and then move on, so that we're not just holding on to cortisol and staying in that stress place. Cortistop is beautiful for that. It helps to use that up, but it also has that DHEA in there, so you're getting a bit. That's the reason why I don't think you need that PD8020 every single day, ladies, because it's kind of layered in other stuff. It also has black cohosh, which is beautiful for what it does for our healthy estrogen in your body. That estrogen is part of what helps with that vaginal fluid that we're supposed to have, and feeling good and young and ready to have more children. I was sharing this with another lady who's already gone through her change, and she's like, I don't want more children. It's not going to get you pregnant. It's just going to give your hormones back that TLC that we're supposed to have. And again, it's a precursor. It is just food, because I'm all about food first. Supplements are just the puzzle piece. It also has royal jelly in there. It's got clary sage essential oil in there, so you're eating that clary sage in your Cortistop. So it's helping keep that beautiful estrogen that we're supposed to have. Your body is supposed to have it anyways. And this one just gives a partnership to that. It's also amazing, so clary sage, estrogen, those things are beautiful for your skin. It keeps you young. It keeps you vibrant. Then we've got Super B. You knew I was going to talk about Super B. When it comes to pretty much every single class I ever teach, ever, I will talk about vitamin B because it's so important for so many bibbits, so many parts and pieces. It helps with your body's ability to have energy and do the things. It is a $20 supplement that I think should be non-negotiable for everybody. Two, at least two every single day. That B6 and B12 are amazing for your mood, your energy, your overall sex drive, your desire to voom voom. It's part of that in there. Your folate. Your beautiful brain, your function, those neurotransmitters. These are vitamin B's are just an essential nutrient that you might not be getting enough of in your diet, and it's one of those things that I feel is important enough that your body, you need to replace that. You need to give it back. Anytime you are stressed out, worried, a car pulls out in front of you, you're mad. You get a bill, you're mad. Every time you get mad, you use up vitamin B. So because we live in the world, those things happen. So make sure you're giving those back. It also has nutmeg essential oil in there, which is beautiful. We've talked about that in the group as well and why you so need that. Very stimulating. For him, things like Power Jize. Power Jize for our guys is stamina in a bottle. This is giving them back that oomph that they're supposed to have. It's got your ashwagandha, which is an adaptogen in there, which when ashwagandha's there, it lowers all of those crazy stress hormones so that your normal healthy testosterone can do the testosterone thing. It's supposed to be a thing that's happening for our men. It has oh my gosh, longifolia, which is amazing. That one is all about that performance. Everything in Power Jize is for our men, for strength, for virility, for being able to do the things. One of the ones in there is horny goatweed. You do what you want to do with that because I think it's in the name. I think it was important enough that that's what they named that in the beginning. It also has your goldenrod and your blue spruce in there, so you're getting those internally. So important. Then prostate health. We talked about that one and the importance of it. And I think it is back now. Somebody, I don't know if you can check and let us know if prostate health is back. So important for our men. It's got that pumpkin seed oil in there, which is so important for that healthy, strong prostate and what it's supposed to do. It's got saw palmetto. It's got your pine bark. It's so many good things in there. Our men need it. And honestly, from about the age 30 on, they should be taking 2 a day of that one just regularly. Another one that's going to be weird for you guys, that's about spark, that's about the emotional connection, is going to be your sulfurzyme. Sulfurzyme, you can do your own little research on that one and see, but MSM is so important when it comes to flexibility and muscles and different things. It's just powerful. It's full of all the different sulfur compounds that we talk about in the foods, like your cabbages and your broccolis and all those sulfur foods, and they're so high in sulforaphane, which is just, it's so important. I'm just saying, they're good things. And then of course, I'm going to say your mineral essence. Those are the tiny pieces that we don't know that we need. The reason why I like mineral essence specifically is because it has all 70 of those ionic minerals. So maybe you're low in copper and somebody else is low in zinc and somebody else is low in, I don't know, fluoride. I don't know. Those are base minerals that the body needs because it does some things. It's got lithium. Y'all, lithium is one of the little things that gives that spark between neurons. So a message is sent and another one picks that up. That's lithium, and it's a naturally occurring mineral that we're supposed to have. But sometimes we don't have it because we're not eating that wide variety of food, and it's a puzzle piece. Mineral essence is a nasty tasting puzzle piece that you need. It's going to help, I'm just saying. And then let's see, bedroom boosters. So places to put oils specifically for bedroom boosters. It's going to be on your inner thighs, your lower belly, the wrist, ankles, all of those different places. Doing massage, at touch. And I'm here to tell you, when it comes to sex and having an amazing sex life and getting her in the mood, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, foreplay is where it's at. And foreplay is not the 20 minutes in the bedroom. Foreplay starts early in the day. Shoot, foreplay starts a week early. It's the conversations. It's the eye contact. Just eye contact with somebody creates something called oxytocin. Oxytocin is a binding chemical. It's a neurotransmitter that makes us feel close. It draws us in. It's the reason why when mamas are nursing a baby and they're right here and they're looking eye to eye, how important it is not to always just take a bottle, stick it in their mouth, and prop them, because they need the eye contact. If you and your teenager are not getting along, you know what? Pin them down and stare them in the eyeballs. Just stare. Just right in the eyes. Because it really does. After just a few minutes, it creates oxytocin, which is a binding thing. Don't really pin your teenager down and stare them in the eye, but as often as you can, make that eye contact, because it does create a trust and a bond. And that bond, you guys, that happens way before you try to get us to have sex. Like, if you're having a hard time getting her in the bedroom, part of that reason is because you did not make eye contact. You didn't chit chat with her. You didn't talk to her during the week. You didn't ask about her world, because we like to talk. We like to yammer. We like to get it all out, because if you don't let me just get it all out, I'm not going to lay down calmly in the bed and want to do the things, because it's still in here. It's still going 1,000 miles a minute. So let me talk throughout the week. Pretend like you're listening. You don't have to really listen. Just stare at me. Don't stare at your phone. Your phone is not me. I need your eyes. I need your ears. I need you to be able to take that time. I know for most men that is not where they bond. It's different for you. I get that. But if you want me in there to be all about you, then you have to take the time to be about me, and those moments are about me, and they're just as important as everything else. When I walk past you and you touch my shoulders, or you rub your hand along my back as we just pass each other, or you hold my hand when we're walking someplace, or we're sitting at the table and you reach over and you hold my hand, you touch me, every one of those things is just important as that 20 minutes of foreplay in the bedroom. Every one of those things is just as important as the 20 minutes of foreplay in the bedroom. And if you need me to, I can put that on a flyer, and I can send that to you ladies, so you can send that to your men, because that is a part of that bonding. So yes, using the jasmine, doing the different things is important, but it's not as important as the eye contact. It's not as important as the conversation throughout. And that doesn't mean you have to sit there for hours. That means acknowledge me throughout the day, and don't just ask me to jump in the bedroom in the evening. I'm not some kind of whore, some kind of hooker. I need a little TLC beforehand. That's how that works. That's where the payment comes in. You pay me beforehand, and it's with your time and your eyes and your touch. Those are the things. So some other things that you can, hang on, I missed a page here. Foreplay not optional. So again, I'm going to say this again. I think I'm going to put this on a sign, and it's emotional connection equals lubrication. It is what it is. If we feel emotionally connected and we've got that oxytocin going and that dopamine happening and that serotonin going on, then that's the lubrication. That is how we actually get to that climax. If it is taking forever and you're like, she's never gonna get there, it's because you didn't put the time in throughout the week beforehand. So I'm telling you what your woman may not be telling you. And sometimes, ladies, we didn't even know that's what it was. We didn't know that's why we couldn't get there or why we weren't interested. We just knew we didn't feel that love and that value. I have a few other notes on foreplay. Foreplay isn't what happens in the 5 minutes before penetration. Foreplay starts with the playful glance across the room, the low-key hand on the table. I did say these things. The way you touch, the brushing the hair off her shoulder, different things. Those are all the things. I'm just saying. For us, it lights those neurotransmitters. It turns them on fire. And when the neurotransmitters are clicking, then we're more on fire and ready to do all the things. Again, that's dopamine, that's oxytocin, that's serotonin. And so you know, in the bedroom, since we're just talking foreplay for a minute, most women need about 15 to 20 minutes of actual stimulation, foreplay, before the actual intercourse for us to be able to even possibly get there. And they say that the average foreplay that most couples get is 7 minutes. So do you see the disconnect between what a woman really needs? And now this is the actual foreplay in the bedroom, on top of the foreplay that happened for the week and the day and all the different parts and pieces. This is on top of that. This is before the oils that might get her off, because it's not all that it's about. It's we have to be there mentally. I'm just saying. So There's some of the disconnect that we have going on. So, pro tips for my men. Let me see what I typed up. Start foreplay earlier in the day or earlier in the week. Warmth, affection, anticipation. That's where the magic lives. Even text messages, compliments, building anticipation. So send the flirty text, do the dishes, hold her hand, brush past her with intention. All of it sets the stage, and all of it counts as foreplay, even if you and she did not realize how that works. So the next part, I got my pages mixed up. That is not helpful. Do not do things in the wrong order, guys. I'm just telling you. So how do most women orgasm? We're going to talk about it. I'm just saying, most women climax through clitoral stimulation. That is where for most of us. But I don't think most of us realize that the clitoris isn't just the part that's on the outside. It is inside as well. So when you hear the G spot, the G spot is actually the inside part of the clitoris. And it's not just a tiny little spot. It's a pretty big area. And it would be about 1.5 to 2 inches inside the vagina. And it's like by the belly button. So it's going to be pressing towards the front. So clitoral stimulation, whether it is internal or external, those two both have to get hit. So guys, I'm going to say this real quick so you feel better. It's only 1.5 to 2 inches in there. So it's not about size. As a matter of fact, when guys are quite big, they'll miss that entire area because, you know, the penis comes in and curves. It curves because God knew where he put the fun spots, right? He knew that. And so when you're looking at those pictures of what's happening and where the pressure is, the positions that you're in make a difference. So even if you are doing missionary, having the hips elevated and at a tilt is going to help so that when you're having intercourse, it feels amazing for her too, because you're hitting that G spot over and over again. So foreplay longer, good 20 minutes. We're going to talk about some of the lubes and the different reason why the oils help in that process. But then when the actual intercourse happens, it's direction. So even like cowgirl, the different positions, hit it in a different way, and it needs to be, so you guys know, we need a rhythm. We need a consistent rhythm. And if your woman says, woo, right there, that exactly right there. Don't change position, don't change speed, don't change depth, because that means you happen to be actually hitting the right spot. And if you're patient and you give her time, she's going to be able to get there right along with you. And I'm telling you, a woman who enjoys those orgasms is a very happy, content woman. We need that. You think we're stressed out? Maybe that's your fault. I'm just saying. I'm just going to put it out there. So it is all there. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe how deep we just went. Best positions. We already said that. All right. So the hormones and the happy chemicals. I want to talk just for 2 seconds about it while you're considering the positions that I just said and whether or not we are ever making eye contact again. So oxytocin, that is the bonding hormone. It is touch, eye contact, orgasms, cuddling. It builds trust, connection, and after about 10 days, so if you are average, most average couples, not brand new newlyweds, but average couples that have been together for 5 years or more have intercourse about once a week, which is a normal, healthy rhythm. The reason we think that it is every single night or that it should last for 4 hours is because we watch far too much TV. Because the reality is, for most couples, ready? 5 to 7 minutes is how long it takes once they actually start having intercourse. So if you're like doing the numbers right now going, okay, so we're average. That doesn't mean some people don't go a lot longer. That doesn't mean that there's not times where it is more intense, but average is 5 to 7 minutes once the intercourse begins. So not the foreplay, guys. Women need about 20 minutes to be able to get there, not 7, which is average. Anyways, that's your oxytocin. But anyways, after 10 days, so if you're having sex about once a week, that 7 days reconnects, rebuilds that oxytocin, so that bonding that's supposed to be there, that happens on the regular every 7 days. Because somewhere around 10 days, it begins to dip and you feel disconnected from one another. So it's part of the reason why it's so important to do the touch, even if you're not having sex, to make sure you're holding the hands and you're rubbing the back and your feet are laying on each other, you're touching each other, because even those steps increase that oxytocin so you don't separate between each time, because then you have to build it back up before you feel safe to be able to have those relations again. Then dopamine. This is the one that's motivation and reward. The dopamine is the one that is kicked out in the moment of the climax. So in that moment when she is having the climax before you have intercourse, and then you are having it during intercourse, maybe she's having it again, because women are lucky, we get to have orgasms over and over. When that happens, we kick out dopamine. Dopamine is so important for that reward system. Every single cell in your body has a receptor for dopamine, and it says, we are so doing that again. So if you want, and we get that from other things. So dopamine happens when you have that amazing piece of chocolate cake that just hit just right. Oh, it's so good. I am so doing that again. You anything that brings you that you laugh. When you just laugh, and it's that belly gut laughing, your body kicks out dopamine. It's that feel good hormone. Oh my gosh, do it again. It's what happens when the bear comes out and he's foraging and he's eating all the berries, like, yes. And his little brain, a bear, remembers where those berries are, so next time he comes out of hibernation, he's going to do that again. That is dopamine. It tells us we're going to do that action again because it was that absolutely amazing. It was phenomenal. Men, it's part of what makes you feel strong and virile and important and valued. So women, getting your man to be able to have that orgasm and get to that spot, it's part of what makes them feel strong and manly. So they're going to want that eye contact with you. They're going to want the things. So it is literally, dopamine is a feedback loop. It's such an important part in your world, in your life. It's important for your kids. Whole nother class that I'm not going to talk about in the sex class because that makes it weird and awkward. Then bonus, we've got your testosterone, you've got your estrogen. Those are all things that you guys totally get, that you understand, that you know, because they're like, oh yeah, I get that. Progesterone declines as we age. It just kind of dwindles. But progesterone is the one that tells us we're young, we're sexy, we're all that. Let's get ready. We're going to have a baby, and it cleans out the house, does all the things. So doing things like our Progestins Plus, where's she at? This one right here, this is going to help you feeling sexy and young and wanting to do all the things. So you partner her with your Jasmine and your ylang-ylang. I'm just saying good things are going to happen. When your hormones are in sync, everything else feels better. I do want to talk about a couple of different lubes before we end it. I know we've already gone 8 minutes over, and I apologize. There was just a lot to this class, and I don't think I want to have to do it again for a minute, because I might look really calm, but this is just, I'm just saying. Lubes. So we've got Sensation Massage Oil. Phenomenal. Gary literally made it for that. So we have Sensation Oil, but we also have a massage oil that you can use. If we're ever out of the massage oil, you can use the Sensation Oil in V6 and make your own. You can use Ortho Ease. So Ortho Ease and Ortho Sport are designed for knees and backs and things like that, but they get nice and warm. It is blood flow, and it's kind of titillating, and you might be like, woo, this is kind of warm, but I'm telling ya, it's blood flow, it's all fun. And anyways, so those are ones that are pre-made that you can use. It might get warm, it will not burn anything off, I guarantee you. It's kind of enjoyable. And then you can make one that's for her, and you're going to use jasmine, ylang-ylang, clary sage, and cypress. It's a beautiful, beautiful little blend that you can make. You could also do for him one that is goldenrod and Idaho blue spruce, cypress, and a little drop of peppermint. Make sure these are all in some V6, because that peppermint can get a little bit too uncomfortable. But that little bit of heat is kind of fun, especially if he's having a hard time getting and maintaining a full erection. This is just going to warm things up, and it kind of helps for both, like I said, for him and for her. It's great ones. And there's a couples one where you're going to take Sensations and Joy, jasmine, goldenrod, and ylang-ylang, and you can use these in any way that you want. One of the things that we do is we put a rubber band around the bottle, the blends, so that we know that one's our little sex blend for right now. And sometimes he makes them, sometimes I make them, sometimes we throw other stuff in. We just play with it. And like I said, Ortho Ease, Ortho Massage, Ortho Sport, Sensations, any of those would be fantastic. And you could literally use any of the oils that I said are good for him or for her are interchangeable. So you could make your own little lube and put those things in there. But the really important thing to get where all of those hormones are coming back in is going back to those supplements, those pieces. And like I said, join us in that hormone reset, because we are covering so many of the other pieces, because for that amazing sex life to happen, we really do have to have that balance in all things. So I've said way more than I really probably should have, but again, it's stuff we don't chat about. I thought it would be a fun class. I hope that you still love me. I hope you pop in. Our next class is going to be GLP-1 and weight loss and insulin resistance and the things that I've done to lose 260 pounds, in how we get our ghrelin, our leptin, our insulin, all those things in balance, and it's all compliant. It's all things that we're allowed to say so we can share with other people so they can have the same thing. We've also got an in-person class coming. I hope you are still hanging on right now. In person, Davison, Michigan. We are having a big convention in the park party. Think the last day of school with all the games and all the fun, and you're going to try all this stuff. There's going to be make and takes, and we are going to limit how many people we can have so that you can all hear us at the park. So make sure you go in and you grab your tickets. Those tickets are live right now. And I guess that's it. Let me know what I can do for you. If you have questions, I will try to answer them, and share this video even if you think it's a little bit awkward, because you might not need it, but somebody in your timeline might be desperate for it. All right, you guys, love you mucho. I hope it wasn't too much. I hope I didn't go too far. Bye.